So I'm losing weight again, right? And this is my third and what I say is final weight loss journey where I'm losing a significant amount of weight. This is now my third time losing a significant amount of weight. And by significant, I mean over 30 pounds. And so I wanted to make this video for the woman who feels like they want to give up on losing weight, who feels like my body's broken, my body doesn't cooperate. And while I'm not a medical expert in the matter, I absolutely am an expert in my experience. And I know that if I'm experiencing it, then at least 1,000 other women are as well. And I hope that this video finds you because you deserve to feel good in your body. You deserve, if losing weight is what you want, we're not, for me, we are not chasing thinness. We are chasing health. We are chasing feeling good in our body. And if that's what you truly want and desire, then I want that for you as well. The desires of your heart are there for a reason. And so what does it look like to actually work with our body this time? And so the reason why I say that this is my third and final time losing weight is because this time I'm actually getting to the root of the issues that I believe I've been experiencing this whole time. The first time I lost weight, I was doing this was maybe 2015-ish. I was doing heavy cardio 6 days a week, eating a super crazy calorie deficit, not very healthy, but we got the weight off. The second time around, I realized, okay, losing weight is not just physical, it's also mental as well. So I was still doing the same things. I was doing the 6 days a week, crazy amounts of cardio. But this time I also was like, well, I can't hate myself into losing weight. So what does it look like to actually love myself, to actually affirm myself, to actually appreciate the body that I'm in? Cool. Second time around. We have since gained all of that weight plus more back. And this time I said, okay, losing weight is not my problem, but keeping it off is. Why is that? I was able to admit to myself that my relationship with food was an issue. That not only was weight loss physical and mental, it is also emotional. There is a reason why, there's an emotional reason why I keep going to the foods that I'm going to, that I keep making the choices that I'm making, that I keep feeling the way that I'm feeling about myself. And I know I mentioned that I'm not a expert, and I know that I eventually do truly want to talk about this, and I'm like using myself as an experiment because I am such a believer that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, that your thoughts become things, and that there was a point in I'm getting chills, and it's hot as hell, that there was a point in our lives, those of us who've struggled with our weight our entire lives, there was a point in our lives when somebody told us that our body was wrong. At some point, someone had made a comment about us being fat, or our mom was always on us about what we were eating. If you grew up in the early 2000s, and especially, that skinny era was huge, and you just were always told that your body was wrong and that you internalized that. And I don't have the data to back this up right now, but I'm just a firm believer that for a lot of us, that is where it began. Now, it showed up and got worse by the things that we chose, and we often chose food. And one thing that I realize, and I say often, is that food was my source of comfort. Food was my only friend. For a very long time, food did not talk back. It didn't bully me. It didn't make fun of me. Food was there for me when humans were not. And so binge eating is I should put a trigger warning in this, but that's something that I have experienced, and I have an insane sweet tooth as well. And so this time around, as I'm losing weight, my top priority was like I mentioned, getting to the root of the issues that I'm experiencing. But how can we really heal our relationship with food this time? How can we really ask ourselves the questions to understand, why is it that I am still choosing this? Why is it that I can get done an episode of binge eating and feel disgusting and know that I don't ever want to do it again, but I still do it again? Why is it that I can ignore my my fullness cues in my body? Why is it that I'm constantly overriding what my body is telling me just to do what I want to do? So like, I made another video where I was talking about this too, where a lot of us grew up telling our bodies what to do. You tell your body when to eat, when to sleep, when to use the bathroom, when to do A, B, and C. And that's just not how it works. And I think that for a lot of us, we are now experiencing the opposite of that, where our bodies are like, I can't do this anymore, I can't operate like this anymore. And so you're gonna listen to me now, which is where I am right now with my body. So I have been truly working toward what are the habits and the skills that me at a healthy weight has, and how can I focus on those and building those and cultivating those, so that weight loss is simply a natural byproduct of the things that I'm doing, instead of focusing on I have to lose 50 pounds by tomorrow, which, trust me, I get that too. But if I'm going to keep it off this time, because like I said, losing weight is not the issue, keeping it off is. And why? Not only is it that my relationship with food was not the best, but also once I did lose the weight, I would stop working out. But I will honestly say I've been working on this now for over a year, and I can genuinely say that I do not run to food the way that I used to. I am not controlled by food the way that I used to. And now I keep saying that I'm just waiting for my body to catch up to my mind, because in my mind right now, I've lost the weight. I have a healthy relationship with food. I'm eating whole nutritious foods 80% of the time. I can eat sugar, I can eat ice cream, but I can also say no to it too. And I just feel like I'm so close to that. I feel, no, I was saying I feel like I'm so close to really like this becoming my identity, this becoming who I am. Because that's another thing that I would say is that I had just said this, like, what my edible just hit this. Why? Okay, I shouldn't have said that. Okay. I had mentioned, what does the person who has lost the weight do? And so what that is essentially identity. Because what I did the 2 times before is that I was still a fat person in a skinny person's body. My brain was still binge eating, or it was still telling me to binge eat. It was still labeling foods as good and as bad. It was still, not looking at myself in the mirror with love and acceptance and grace, even though grace is for mistakes, not patterns. But we're going to do that video another day. What was I saying? Damn it. I think it was just about identity, and how this time around I have to show up consistently as the person who loses the weight, as the person who maintains the weight. Do they do a 6-week juicing plan once? Or are they showing up at the gym 4 to 5 times a week, every single week, getting a certain amount of steps in, going to bed at a certain time, eating certain foods? Yeah, it's the latter. It's the latter. And I'll say, I understand how grueling that can be and how hard, right? Identity is such a huge piece here. And I've said this before, but the only reason why losing weight feels so hard for you is because you've never done it before. You've never been the kind of, like, if you've struggled with your weight your entire life, you've never been someone who has shown up in a way to lose weight. And I know that sounds so simple, but I hope that frees you from the chokehold that you are a lazy person, that you just don't have willpower, that you're a bad. I hope that frees you from that, because you are bad at it simply because you have not practiced it. That is it. And losing weight, if you talk to anybody, especially if you've done it before, you know how hard this stuff is. It's hard. It's hard to do. But again, when you've been living your life one way for 20 years, you're mad at yourself because you can't change your whole life in 2 months. It is an identity piece. If you want this to stick this time, you have to become the kind of person who does the kinds of things who gets what you want, period. Yeah, I think there's actually so much more I could say. I was gonna say, are we done? There's so much more that I could say, but I am always, well, actually, that's a lie. I am now opening up more about it. I usually, like I mentioned, or actually that was in another video, but I like to ta-da with the end result versus share the, you know, the weird, awkward in between. But if there are any questions that you have about emotional weight loss, is what I call it, is that this time around that this is emotional weight loss. If you have any questions about it, if you want to, if you do want some resources in healing your relationship with food, I actually do have a free Substack article with 10 questions on healing your relationship with food. It is absolutely going to steer you in that right direction, if that's where your brain is at right now. But I pray, I really hope that you do not give up. Don't give up on yourself. Like, I know it's hard. Losing weight is one of those things that, like, is truly the bane of my existence. And I'm not talking to those who, like, love themselves plus size, that love themselves being at whatever weight. I'm not talking to those people. I'm talking to those people that no matter how much you've tried to affirm yourself into it, you can't get settled here. And I just want to say that is absolutely okay. And that I want you to have faith. I want you to believe that you can do it, and that there's a reason why you want to do it, and that there is a life on the other side of this misery, that there is a life on the other side of constantly feeling uncomfortable and trapped in your body. And I'm here right along with you. I'm on this journey with you. It is so frustrating, and I hate that fat phobia runs as rampant as it does. Like, I sometimes almost wish I could just accept, but that's another story for another day. I just know I don't feel comfortable here. And I just hate how the world also treats you when you're fat. And that's another thing too. That's, again, another story for another day, because this time around, yeah, love y'all. Hey. But again, another story for another day. But yeah, keep the faith, keep showing up, keep doing what you got to do. If you also want to follow my specific journey, I'm doing 1,000 things. I'm literally doing 1,000 things right now, but at wellness, but make it simple, on both Instagram and TikTok. That's also my Substack as well. That's where I talk all about emotional weight loss and all the things I mentioned in this video. So if that is your vibe, would love to have you over there. So yeah, I know that YouTube is my space to kind of talk about all the things, but if you specifically want this emotional weight loss, head to those platforms, and we'd love to see you, because we need less miserable people in this world. And if this is what it's going to take to make you less miserable, babe, then let's do it. Let's freaking do it. It can be simple. I'm not saying easy, but I am saying it is. You know what to do. You know what you need to be doing. And you know what you need to be not doing as well. What is one thing that you can start with? Something that I do and that works really well for me, and actually apparently my chart and my astrology, is that I do really well in short sprints. So I started doing these 30-day challenges this year. So I did a step count one back in March. I did a sleep schedule one in April, failed miserably at that one, and then I did a no sugar one last month, did that was amazing. And so just doing certain things that, like, keep challenging myself, but keeping me focused on this journey, because it can feel so mundane and so just, again, it does take a lot. And it's even worse because I also have PCOS, or PMOS, but I have PCOS as well. So I've been consistently doing all of these things for like 8 months, and I still have not seen any weight drop, but we'll get there, because like I said, I already see it in my head. It just hasn't shown up yet in the physical. And so I'm holding on to that frequency because I know I'm doing the right things. I feel different. I got chills. Amen. I feel different this time around. Second time around. I feel different. And I know that this, like, I know that this is the one. I know that this is going to be the time when it sticks. And hey, will I gain or lose weight if I have children at some point, or will I gain some? Sure. You know, my body apparently has an affiliation to wanting to hold on to fat, or has a what's the word, inclination. I think that was the word I wanted to use. To, was it, whatever. My body wants to hold on to fat is right, essentially what I'm saying. That's another video I'm gonna do. Sometimes it don't take much for you to, okay, that's another video. So yeah, but I think that's it. I'm kind of rambling now. So this is 16 minutes. Thank you for spending your time with me. I want to close in conclusion. You're made for more. I believe that I was made for more. That's my philosophy. I believe I was made for so much more than being uncomfortable in my body. So I'm losing weight. It shows up in a bunch of different ways, but again, it is my philosophy of how I go through life. And so I am truly striving for the biggest, juiciest, sexiest, most fulfilling life I can freaking build for myself. I don't feel like I gotta compromise on nothing. I feel like I can have it all. I feel like I literally can have everything. I'm a master manifester. I'm getting everything and anything that I want. That's how I feel. I was made for so much more than the ordinary, bitch. I'm extraordinary. Do you understand me? You understand me? You know me? And if you resonate with that, if you resonate with my energy and my space, then welcome. We were all made for more around here, and we do what it takes to get there. That often looks like wellness, personal development, and community, among so many other things. But if that is your vibe, we'd love to have you. Subscribe, like, comment, anything that resonated, please let me know. And of course, if you want to specifically like follow me when it comes to the emotional weight loss, wellness, but make it simple. This was a great video. Oh my god, I had so much fun. Please, I just talk to me in the comments, like, please. Oh my god. Okay, love you, bye.